We're at the offices of Engineers Without Borders in Copenhagen. On the agenda is how the organisation's latest project in Sierra Leone is moving forward. Representatives from the sister organisation in Sierra Leone are giving an update on a new well in the village of Gandon in eastern Sierra Leone, a project that will dramatically change life for the better in the village.
Water is life. And not that they do not have water around, but it's not pure.
This is what it's all about. In rural areas of Sierra Leone, the water supply often comes from streams like this one in Gandon, bringing with it a high risk of disease like cholera and typhus. Polluted water is one of the main reasons that life expectancy in Sierra Leone is just above 50 years of age, the lowest in the world. Nearly half the population has no access to clean water, despite this being a basic human right and a prerequisite for sustainable development. This is why Engineers Without Borders have built more than 20 hand-dug wells in eastern Sierra Leone since 2013, and is now working on a much deeper well in Gandon.
The pilot project that we have been starting now is actually in a village where there's more than 2,000 people, and where we are drilling down a borehole down to 90 meters, and from that we will pump up water in a water tank. And from the water tank we will transport water out to 5 different places in the village. The advantage of that kind of system is, first of all, that we will deliver water not only where the hand-dug well is placed, but we will actually transport it out to closer to the center of the city and actually where people is living. The other advantage is that when we go down to a deep depthness of 90 meters, we can make sure that even during the dry weather period, we can actually deliver water.
Besides water wells, Engineers Without Borders establish local health committees and delivers education in both maintenance of the water systems and good hygiene practices.
They go into the community, they set up a committee, they train them, and they in turn train the other people in the usage of these facilities. So in any community we are working, we have a group.
Knowledge sharing and capacity building ensure solutions are local and sustainable, so that communities are mobilised and motivated to work closely with the volunteers from Engineers Without Borders.
I spent a lot of time in the communities, in the villages, and I learned a lot from talking to people in the communities to see what are their daily problems, how can we help solve some of their problems. And I learned that you have to involve the people on the ground. You cannot just make the decision in Denmark, you have to involve people on the ground.
While the technical solutions are usually simple, the major challenges are often different working practices and cultures.
The Danish engineers want to make sure things are very organized before passing it over to the locals. Whereas some of the engineers, they will come, we join them together to do it. Which I think is also good, because it's better the system is organized than before we can come on board, so that we can learn the best practice. Then joining them might perhaps create a problem. So I think we learn a lot of lessons from the engineers. They're a bit, to be honestly, conservative in doing things, but I think being conservative is on the positive side, which I think we do appreciate.
Sierra Leone is one of the poorest countries in the world. Torn by a fierce civil war from 1991 to 2001, and then by the Ebola outbreak in 2014, it is in dire need of technical support. Engineers Without Borders are working in Sierra Leone to bring that support.
Engineers Without Borders, we work from a poverty focus, and what we have seen and experienced in the communities where we work in Sierra Leone is It's extreme conditions. It's livelihoods that we can't imagine for ourselves at all. And that's why we are very compelled, we feel it as our duty to engage with those communities, to be able with our technical skills to give on a pro bono basis to improve their lives. And we are talking about basic human rights, we are talking about access to water, we are talking about education, to have a school, and also we're talking about sustainable energy, because we can see that energy really can change lives. So that's why we work in Africa, that's why we work in Sierra Leone. And with the Ebola epidemic been ongoing for the last couple of years, it's fortunately ended now. But with that striking the country, the situation has become even more dire. And it gives us a very good reason to work with these communities.
Engineers Without Borders have more than 1,200 members in Denmark. It is made up of engineers and other technically skilled people who voluntarily use their knowledge to improve the lives of some of the poorest people in the world. Engineers Without Borders Denmark is part of an independent network of more than 60 Engineers Without Borders organizations around the world.
It's a sort of a sisterhood between engineers and technical skilled people. And that's, of course, we feel very compelled to work with a sister organization as in Sierra Leone, and also to, with our knowledge and our state-of-the-art skills in Denmark, to be able to raise their technical level, to improve their technical projects and support them in their own efforts to improve the livelihoods of their citizens in Sierra Leone. So that's why we feel it as a very compelling project to work with other Engineers Without Borders around the world.
Right now, Engineers Without Borders Denmark are working on 7 projects around the world, and 12 more are in the planning process. Among them, more water, solar power and agricultural projects. In Gandon, in Kenema, fresh water will soon start running through the new pipes, improving the life of over 2,000 of the poorest people in the world.